Anything for consolidated?
Oh,
Well, we
no.
probably should for consolidated.
It's up to you, Madam Chair.
Well, it's on my agenda, so let's
Okay.
go. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I consider a motion to reconvene as the Consolidated Board of Equalization.
You so move?
I'll second it.
Thank you. Sherry, will you call the roll?
I need to know the two other commissioners' names.
Oh,
Josh
Last name.
Otkin, Otkin,
how do you pronounce it, Josh?
Otkin.
Atkin.
And
Your name, sir.
Jerry Sean.
Sean? All right.
Welcome.
Commissioner Poppins,
Yes.
Commissioner Gibbon,
Yes.
Commissioner Atkin,
Yes.
Commissioner Sean,
Yes.
Commissioner Landine.
Yes. Motion carries. We'll move on to our regular agenda. Well, we have a consent agenda item. Ask for a motion to approve the consent agenda.
There's something on it. I will so move.
I'll second.
Thank you. Sherry, will you call the roll?
Commissioner Poppin,
Yes.
Commissioner Gibbon,
Yes.
Commissioner Atkin,
Yes.
Commissioner Sean,
Yes.
Commissioner Landine.
Yes. We'll move on to our regular agenda for the Consolidated Board of Equalization. We have our first hearing at 6 p.m. and I see Mr. Nelson is present with us. So first, the way this kind of works, if you haven't watched any of them before, Carla will run through her presentation and then you'll have an opportunity to present your appeal.
Awesome.
Go ahead, Carla.
Our first appeal is parcel number 200.14.05.009. It's under the name of Samuel J. and Allison Nelson, located at 320 North Milwaukee here in Canton, South Dakota. It is a single-family home consisting of approximately 2,441 square feet, 3-bedroom, 1 bath. Lot size is approximately 17,688 square feet. We sent out an assessed value of $306,453. Property owner is appealing that value. We did show some comps that occurred within the last year or a little bit better than that, last 18 months. And the most comparable we felt was comparable number 3. It's in the same, relatively same grade, same age, and same size as the subject property. Our assessment range has put the subject property being assessed at $111 per square foot. Our cost from our comparables or our assessments, the range is between 82 and 111 on the top end of that range, but still within the range. Our market approach evaluation shows a range between $77 and $153. On the map, you can see the subject property in pink in the south central portion of the map, and the comps are all within Canton. At this point, I would like to give some information on the subject property condition. In 2019, the appraisers did an interior and an exterior inspection of the property. At that time of inspection, the shingle, siding, windows, and doors were all in very good condition. The interior was also in very good condition for the age of the home. The house has been very well maintained throughout the years. With all that information being presented to you, the assessors are making a recommendation to no change on the 2022 assessed valuation.
Thank you. Do commission have any questions for staff? If not, Sam, you wanted to state your name for the record and then go
Sure.
ahead and.
My name is Sam Nelson, and my wife Allison and I own the home at 320 North Milwaukee here in town. My turn?
Yep, it is
Okay,
your
excellent.
turn.
Can I provide you folks with a couple of printouts?
You
that I
can
made?
do that, and then there's a screen that you can use up there. If you put it under it,
Okay.
it'll show up there as well.
I've got enough for all the.
Thank you.
I only printed out 6, so. you might have-
Here, just let them
Thank you.
So what I'm handing you is houses A through, I think it's E, and they're houses in town. And I want to start with those. I think out of all the comparables and all the houses that I'm providing you information on, the only home that I actually have not been in personally is comparable number one at 504 Broadway. That, just to look at that in all these homes. So I want to walk you through first a little what I believe are my comparables, and then talk a little bit about my assessment of kind of how I think those are comparables and why number 3 on the county's comparable list is not necessarily accurate. A is 616 East 2nd Street. That house is just across the street from me to the north. When I grew up, it was owned by Mike Swenson here in town. And plan-wise, it is essentially an exact carbon copy of the home that I live in. The interior layout is just different. Now, I will agree that they do not have, they have a 2-stall garage and that the depth is 2, but they do not have the unattached garage that I have on my property. But in terms of square footage, that home is similar. Next, we move to 224 East 2nd Street, also a home that's a similar square footage, actually slightly larger, built in the same period as my home. The real important one that I think you folks should look at is C, and that's on the second page. This is 620 East 1st. This is about a block and a half from me. This would be 2 blocks north of me, south facing in Canton. And I'll touch on that one in a little bit. But then if you look at D and E, these homes are also in the same neighborhood of mine. We're all east of Dakota Street except for item B, and they're all built around the same time, and they're all roughly the same square footage. So if you look at A, D, and E, and B, you'll see that those values are substantially less than the assessed value of my home for the 2022 assessment. I bring to your attention C, because while C does not have an unattached garage, which I have, you're looking at 4,864 square feet of livable space. And in the photographs that I provide you, if you look at the back end of the house, you'll see kind of a picture of the front, and then the top right-hand corner, you're going to see a series of windows towards the back of the house. And then if you look at the photo below that, bottom right, you're going to see a same set of windows and a sliding door. That is a huge addition that was put on the house, I want to say, in the last 10 to 15 years before Ann Tryon sold the home. And so my concern with my assessed value is when we look at other comparables in the neighborhood, the only home that's been assessed similar in value to mine is essentially double the square feet of livable, finished living space. And so I don't know that the assessed value is accurate. Just a couple other things when you're looking at how you value this. The county's assessed my home as having 1 full bath. The other comparables, I think, each have 2 full baths or 3. I've been found to have 3 bedrooms above, and all the other ones have 4. And then with respect to 624 Lynn Avenue, I am not able to go and measure their lot size, but I think that their lot size is actually quite a bit bigger than mine. That's the old Van Zee house, and it's next to the Water Tower Park in Canton. And if you go up there, it is on a block that runs from the Water Tower Park essentially all the way to Dakota. But if you look at the block across the street from it, you'll see that comparable really has 3/4 of a city block that it takes up in terms of lot. And so I think that the lot size is maybe a little bit bigger than what it's assessed at, but also that has a lower level finished basement, which I don't have a finished basement on my lower level. And I guess the last thing I'd point out with respect to my unattached garage is that's essentially a shell, and what I mean by that is I have limited 110 out there. I don't have any plumbing. I don't have any insulation, neither the upper attic area or the main floor of that garage are finished. You look at my assessment from I think the last assessment was 182. I'm here to tell you guys, I get that was low. And I looked at quite the jump when we reassessed me last time to 242. I thought about coming in, but I didn't. I want to pay my fair share, and I think 242, at this point, I'm willing to concede it's probably a little low, but I think 306 is too high. I would respectfully submit that we are maybe looking at an assessed value of my home somewhere between 250 and 270. Perhaps a little higher, but I don't think 306 is appropriate, and I don't think the third comparable is a fair comparison. And I'll also tell you that I don't know that the other two comparables the county chose to use were necessarily close either, because they didn't have the attached garage. I do think what I'm going to call the Suitor home, which is 604 Broadway, is probably the closest comparable in terms of kind of same type of house, same size lot, and they don't have the attached garage, but I think the middle one's probably the closest. So, I understand I can't stay at the value. They're going up all over the place, and that's life. But I think 306 is too high. And so with that, Madam Chair, that's all I had for you. I'd be happy to answer any questions that you may have of me.
So I have a question for you, Sam.
Sure.
So is there something that makes the house worth less than what you had paid for it?
We're looking at what people have paid, and if we look at,
I'm just looking at yours. I mean,
Yeah,
is there anything that's wrong with the house as far as since you bought it?
we were very fortunate in, I think it was 19, when everybody got that water. I had a very little bit of water in my basement, and it came up through the floor because of hydrostatic pressure. I had to gut a portion of the basement that has, it was like, the Schultes put in sheetrock and they put in some stud walls, but they didn't have a base plate, and they had a small area of it, maybe a third of the basement that had carpet. So I had to gut all that. But other than that, it needs paint on one side, but other than that, no, I don't think it has changed that much, Tiffany, but I will, or Madam Chair, I'm sorry. But I will just note, when we look at the comparables, you have two of them where the purchase price is much higher than the assessed value. I would tend to say properties happen, that's a fairly frequent occurrence.
I've noticed that myself. Do you have any comments that you'd like to make about what Sam presented?
Just a few comments on a couple of the properties that he was using as a comparison. And, this is an older home. It's very unique. There are plenty of homes that have sold in Canton that are relatively close. I mean, it's not always an apples to apples comparison when you're looking at these homes, but we do our very best on the sales that we have. One of the homes he was using was 620 East First Street. I think the biggest thing that I saw in our assessment, it doesn't have the second garage, and it's in just a normal condition. We have the subject property in a very good condition state for the age that the house is in. And with our assessment process, condition matters. And we have adjusted older homes accordingly, because if they've been well maintained and upkept, or some improvements have been noted, we make those valuation differences. So I think I'm just trying to give you a example of what we're looking at on some of his comparables, because this is the first time we're hearing of them. As for the 604 Broadway, we do have that in a slightly lower grade. So the appraiser that was their opinion of that particular grade of the home was slightly less. And again, it doesn't include the second garage. I think if the second garage was added in and some of the other amenities, it would probably result in a very similar assessment. Again, we're not always comparing an apple to apple situation. We're giving you an example of properties like his, somewhat like his, that are sold, and we're just doing the three approaches to value like we're required to do.
May I respond to that just briefly if I could?
Real briefly, because I'm already 5 minutes over
Sure,
the allotted time.
Sure. I'm going to just tell you about 620. As I said, I've been in the house. The exterior needs a new coat of paint. And Tryon lived there, and the interior was and is immaculate. And that addition had in it a brand-new kitchen and a second-floor sunroom. So maybe not quite as well-maintained as my home, but mine's not really good, and that's not in fair condition. They're a lot closer in terms of quality on the interior, in my opinion.
Sure. Thank you. Do any of the other board members have questions for the appellant? Or
Sam?
staff, for that matter?
Sam, your requested value for the structure was $270,000, and I think that's the same amount as the assessors. Is that correct?
Yeah, there's an error in application.
Sam's request on the PT-17 was 228 for the
$228,
for the
okay.
building,
Okay.
and 32,000 for the land.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll put it to you this way, Commissioner. I think a fair assessment is somewhere between 250 and 270, maybe 275. I understand it has to go up, and I understand I have a nice home, and I'm very privileged to live there. I just think 306 is a bit too steep. I think anything north of 275 is getting steep.
Me personally, I guess, just thinking out loud, I could live with putting the house at 260 and leaving the land where it's at. But I'll entertain a motion if and
I have a
when
quick
anybody's
question.
ready.
For staff.
Go ahead.
Ethan, could you please look up the 616 East Second Street, please, for me, and break that one down for me? Or do you? 616 East Second Street. It's his first comp that visually has, I think, a very similar, there's a square footage differential, but a very similar design, I believe.
616 East First Street?
616 East Second Street.
Second, okay, yeah.
And it doesn't, do you have attached or detached garage?
I have an attached
Attached,
garage,
okay.
and then there is a detached garage in the back.
Okay.
Are you familiar with the, maybe to be willing, 616, does that have accessory buildings?
I don't think it does. It has an attached garage that is 2 vehicle lengths. It's one door, but 2 vehicle lengths. And then on the other side of that, it's got a big sunroom. But I don't believe there are any accessory, but there might be like a shed in the back. But
Okay, thank you.
yeah.
Yeah, he's correct. There's just a detached garage on that property.
Okay. I'll entertain a motion.
Because forgive me, I'm gonna take some time. Because I'm looking at that comp, make an adjustment for square footage. And the fact that would make the whole parcel is 259, 485. So if I make an adjustment just for the square footage, giving it a square foot rate of $100, it jumps the whole parcel up to $280,000. So if I put on the accessory buildings, what's on yours? Do we have that broke out? Okay.
As far as square footage?
No, just what the accessory building is that we have.
The detached garage is $12,894.
So that would put us at 292,800. And you were thinking what on the home, Madam Chair?
260.
I'll make that motion. 260,000 on the home and leaving the land at 36,422.
Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. Any further discussion? If not,
Amount is how much then, Commissioner Poppins?
10,000 less, well,
10,031 less of the 306.
296,422.
Thank you.
Thank you.
got a motion and a second. Any further discussion? If not, Sherry, we call the roll?
Commissioner Poppins?
Yes.
Commissioner Gibbon?
Yes.
Commissioner Atkin?
Yes.
Commissioner Sean?
Aye.
Commissioner Landine?
Yes.
I do believe it gets you in line with that similar property.
It's a little better.
A little bit.
It's a little bit.
Thanks.
I
Thanks
threw
for
you a
meeting me
bone, Sam.
halfway-ish, kind of, sort of. You guys have a good night.
Thanks for showing up. All right, we'll move on to our 6:10 hearing.
Hello,
Hello, who do we have on the phone?
my name's Bob Ely.
And
I own my LLC owns the property on 9th Street.
okay, the the director of equalization is going to give a short summary of her valuation, and then you'll be given an opportunity to present your appeal.
Okay.
Our next appeal is parcel number 200.29.00.2021. It's under the ownership of Emexet 4 LLC, located at 613 West 9th Street here in Canton. We do give a lot of information in regards to a structure, but those structures have been removed. They were removed sometime in December of 2021. But keep in mind, our assessment date is as of November 1, so those buildings still existed. Then this is the complaint that is being heard from the appellant is our assessment showed buildings and they've been removed as of December of 2021. Property was just purchased for $274,000. If we take away all the building values, that would leave the land value at the total assessment at $53,158, and it sold for $274,000. I guess
It's sold for $274 with buildings or without?
with buildings, but then they were removed. Excuse me. I think they were removed prior to the sale. No.
It had to been removed before the sale. It wasn't.
It
Oh.
was a condition of closing that the buildings get removed.
So you just bought the
So
land for $274,000.
Yeah, but part of the payment was to reimburse the owner for the cost of demolition.
So we can do one of two things, and this is what I had told the appellant when I had visited with him earlier this year after assessment notices were out. He can appeal it, you can make a decision, or because the buildings are gone. Or he can wait until he gets his tax notice next year and then apply for an abatement because the buildings were gone as of January 1 for the tax year. So no time during the tax year did those buildings exist.
Or we can just fix it now. We can just fix it now, what's your recommendation?
My recommendation was it can be an abatement process because the buildings were there as of November 1. I don't know if it's truly in a condition for an appeal because we're dealing with assessment equity over market value, but the structures aren't there. So I mean, my recommendation to him was wait until he gets his tax notice and then apply for an abatement. But you as a board can make a different decision.
So the buildings came down in 21, December 21.
Yes.
So we would do an abatement
Carla,
for
do you
1
have a
month.
tier sheet?
I'm curious on this one. How is the land value on the 7 acres? Is this inside the city
This is
limits?
inside city limits.
Wow. Okay. Thank you.
What does the board want to do?
Want to raise the land value?
I guess, I'm curious to hear from, I'm curious to hear from the Canton Commission, City Commission, what their thoughts are.
I'd go with the recommendation of the assessor to wait.
The recommendation was to leave the value as it sat as of November 1st of 2021 by law. And then I was directing the appellant could take his abatement process through to the commission after next year taxes have been determined.
I would agree with her,
If that's your motion, I will second it.
yes.
I have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Sir, do you want to say anything more? I think we kind of didn't follow our normal.
No, I think it's pretty cut and dry.
Sure.
So if you think the abatement is the way to go, then I'll do the abatement. I mean,
Okay, that's what I'm hearing.
as far as I
so-
can tell, I'm indifferent.
Sure. Okay, that makes sense. We'll go ahead and call the roll then.
Commissioner Poppin,
Yes.
Commissioner Gibbon,
Yes.
Commissioner Atkin,
Yes.
Commissioner Sean,
Yes.
Commissioner Landine.
Yes, motion carries. Thanks for appearing tonight.
Thank you all.
You bet.
Have a good evening.
Thanks.
All right, we'll move on to our 6:20 hearing.
That appellant withdrew his appeal. We did get an official appeal.
So John and
withdrawn.
Leah
So,
Peterson withdrew their
Is he
appeal.
sent a
He
written?
did
Yes.
send a written
Thank you.
notice to us.
Excellent.
yes.
Okay.
Hey.
It was verbally last night.
All right, then we'll move on to number 4, if we have people here for it. Sir, which one are you? Are you here for a hearing? Okay. Was there anyone else coming for yours?
Nope.
You want to start a couple minutes early?
Sure, that would be fine.
Okay. Carla, you want to go ahead?
Our next appeal is parcel number 200.45.01.009. It's under the ownership name of William Winter, located at 1008 East 3rd Street here in Canton. It's a single-family home built in 1915. It has approximately 1,616 square feet, 4 bedrooms, 1 bathroom. Lot size is approximately 13,200 square feet. We sent the assessment notice out at $123,421. We do show some comps that have taken place that we felt were somewhat similar to the subject property. Felt the most comparable to the subject property was comparable number 2, sold for $182,250, December of 2021. Our assessment price on the subject property is $58 per square foot. Our cost is indicating a valuation range of $64 to $80 per square foot. Our market approach is indicating a range between $61 and $101 per square foot. You can see on the map, in the southeast corner of the map, is where our subject property is located, and our comparables are all within Canton in fairly close proximity. A little bit about the subject condition. Upon completion of the interior inspection by assessor in 2019, it was determined that the home is in below normal condition. Home foundation is deteriorating, walls are crumbling, cracked walls throughout the home, low slanted ceilings, and a partial basement. The home remains lower than the cost and the value and the market values as it is. So we have accounted for the condition of the home. The assessor's office is recommending no change for the 2022 assessment year.
Thank you. Sir, you want to go ahead with your appeal?
Yeah, I don't have a problem with the increase. I think 41% over the previous assessment is a little high, considering there's been no upgrades or complete repairs done to the property. And the land value I think for the lot, it's 2 lots. And the second lot, due to the drainage and the slope, it would be really tough to get anything built on that, even for, a garage or anything like that. Just there's about 8 feet difference in pitch between one corner of the lot to the other. And if you go east and west, it's about 6 to 8 feet in pitch also there on that lot. So I think that is part of I think that lot should be a little lower than the standard value on that. And then the structure is just the condition of it. It needs complete roof replacement, not repair. Doors, windows, complete replacement, not repair. The foundation, gonna have to have somebody come in and take a look at that. It's partial concrete, partial brick and mortar. It's just the overall condition is why I just kind of think the structure value should be a little lower than it is.
Anybody have any questions for staff or the appellant?
Bill, have you put some new shingles on or anything?
No, that's, I did, actually got some estimates for the roof recently, and just the roof is gonna be about 20,000, because it's gonna have to be, the old boards pulled off, and the roof will have to be completely resheeted before shingling. And that was one of the things I actually brought with a copy of a letter from my insurance company where the required repairs for the structure to keep my homeowner's insurance, complete roof, foundation, siding work, and paint are all conditions that I have to meet to keep my homeowner's insurance by the end of this year. But it's just,
Do you have estimates for it?
only the roof so far, and I just got some verbal. I had Todd Trum.
Carla, how did you account for the roof? Like, was there a dollar value?
No, we just
Adjustment.
observed it as a below normal condition and adjusted accordingly. The entire property structure. We gave it a 50% adjustment.
So the amount of the adjustment?
Well, it's on the entire value of the structure, not
Oh,
just
so you
for.
just took it's just a 50%?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, and as also mentioned, the interior condition with, just the foundation has shifted enough over the years that every wall in the house has cracks and there's not a straight floor. So I bought it initially to fix up, waited till I got it paid off. But now the amount, that's gonna take I would have to spend to get it up to the assessed value, I'd have to dump another 40 into it just to meet that value. And I did bring some others, and they're not exact for comps, but they're just on the same street.
Absolutely, Bree.
Yeah,
Present
I mean,
them.
it's your time,
Okay.
so you go ahead and use your
Yeah,
time.
You can
address?
just set them down, and then they will
Come up there.
magically appear.
All right, let me get them centered here. It's 814 East Third, and I went with that just because it's the nearest house to me. It's, right by Jerry. And that overall condition is significantly better than my house. Its square footage is a little bit smaller, but the price on that, I think that sold for $85,000.
When did that sell for 85,000?
That was $418 of 2021. And that's listed as 3-bedroom, 1.5 bath. The property is smaller, and it does have an attached garage. But being, like I say, it's a block from the house, that's why I used that as a comp. And the second one I brought is 715 East Third, which is just a block further west of that. And that one, the lot size is similar, square footage is similar, also 4-bedroom, 1 bath. And that sale price, 11/17/21, was $110,000. And like I say, I realize the assessed value does have to increase with the market, but I just think 41% for the overall condition and the, I guess, usability of the secondary lot, or I think it just should be a lower number than that.
So Bill, those are your two comparables. Did you have any other ones?
No, like I say, those are the two closest, and they're both within 2 blocks of the house, and they're, similar in square footage, property size. That's why I went with those two.
Sure. Anybody have any
Well-
questions or comments? What do you guys want to do?
Give me one moment, Madam Chair. I'll I'll yield to anybody else that has an idea.
The second comp that the appellant had brought to the attention of the commission at 715 East 3rd Street. It looks like it sold for $110,000, and its current assessment is $110,094. So pretty.
Like I said, that one is
That one
really
had been
close in
vacant.
square footage.
Yeah.
They're almost identical. Also,
That
four
had been
bed, one
vacant
bath.
for a long time.
And I've actually been in that house for the water department for a meter, and like I said, the condition of the house for being vacant so long was, it was in really good condition on the interior. That's why I went with that, is
Give me a
for
second.
its condition.
Thank you.
First, have you been
guess-
inside that first comp? That one was in terrible
for it.
shape.
I have not been in that first
That was
one, no.
vacant too, and that one was terrible shape.
Yeah, I had not been
We're
in that.
working
I
on,
just
we're working
used
on a
that.
number up here,
Sure.
so
Yeah.
bear with us.
No, that's no problem. Like I say, I had just used the numbers from the reassessment in 19. That's what I used on the appeal form.
Sure.
But I understand it, it does.
Well,
should
thank you
go-
for understanding.
I have a motion, Madam Chair, if you're ready.
Yep, we've got a motion.
I have a motion, I'm gonna change, using your first comp, and make an adjustment. I'm gonna say there's enough evidence to make a slight adjustment. Placing the, home value at $87,500, leaving the land at the 29,700. Oh, shoot, should have looked at my computer or calculator before I did that.
Yeah, and the land, the big thing there was it's basically the west lot, that was the vacated street. So the property with the slope all drains to that, and if I were to put a structure there, it would all end up in my neighbor's house.
Total value,
The water.
117,200. That's my motion.
All right, I've got a motion. Sherry, did you get that?
Yep.
Okay. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Thank you. Any further discussion? If not, Sherry, we call the roll?
Commissioner Poppin,
Yes.
Commissioner Gibbons,
Yes.
Commissioner Atkin,
Yes.
Commissioner Sean,
Yes.
Commissioner Landine.
Yes. Motion carries.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you for being here tonight. All right, we'll move to our 6:40 if everyone's here. Sir, what, are you here for a hearing?
Yes, ma'am.
And what's your name, sir?
Theodore Dykstra.
Okay, we're not quite to you yet. You're early. That's good.
I didn't know how long it was gonna take me to get here, so I gotta get here earlier than later. Thank you. Take your time. No problem.
Okay, we've got one before you.
No, that's fine, no problem.
Okay.
Anyway, I'm on the phone.
We have people on the phone?
Yes.
And
Yeah,
who-
this is Eric Coleman.
Okay, good evening, Eric.
Hi.
The director is gonna give her presentation and then you'll have an opportunity to present your appeal, okay?
Okay, thank you.
You bet.
Our next appeal is parcel number 200.58.00.002, owned by Eric and Mona Holman. Its legal description is Tract 2, Dolan's addition to the City of Canton, Section 24, Township 98, Range 49. It sits on approximately 215,274 square feet, which is approximately 4.94 acres. Thank you, Ethan. We have a current assessed value of $25,833 for the 2022 assessment year. We feel that there's no change as the property falls in line with neighboring property assessments. We don't have any sales that we can use to show what these types of properties are selling for. The only thing that we can show is our assessment equity, and that's what we're providing to the board today, and how we're assessing all properties within Canton of this type of property. The current assessed value for this property is being assessed at 12 cents per square foot. Our assessment equity shows a valuation between $8 8 cents a square foot to 17 cents a square foot. And how we arrived at that price range is again through a tier type system. Our first amount of within our pricing guide depending on where it was at within Canton, we started at an average lot size, and we put most weight on our assessment on that. And from that, as the lots got larger, we started tearing that down because, the assessments and the sale prices didn't match to that first determined assessment per square feet. So we developed a tiered system. Within the PowerPoint, you can also see where the subject property is located in comparison to the comparables that we are indicating on the map. Just to reiterate, we feel that our assessments are equal to one another. Therefore, we are requesting no assessment change to the property.
Does anybody have any questions for staff? If not,
There's no public, no public access to that other than traveling over railroad property, is that right?
Mr. Holman,
Yes.
is there public access to that land?
No, there is not.
Not public, but there is an easement or something to access the property?
There is no legal easement, but because I've been using their path for 7 years, they can't deny me.
Yeah, it's prescriptive by this point.
Yep.
Sir, you
The prob-
you can go ahead with
prob-
your presentation, sir.
Okay. The problem with the prescriptive easement is that the property cannot be improved. I can't put any buildings on there, and there's financing is not allowed. So if I were to sell the property, the buyer would not be able to obtain financing. It would have to be cash. Part of the problem. First of all, the assessor has an impossible task, and I don't mean to be critical of their thinking or their process, but my property and frankly the other property, it would be the comparable of it would be the number one parcel comparable, which ends in 003. Those are very similar in terms of what can be done with the property, which is literally nothing. I mean, you can take kids down there and go hiking through the woods, or you can take your dog down there to relieve themselves. But other than that, that's about it. The second comparable is way different in that it does have access. And another thing where it is different than my property is that very, very little of it ever floods. It's on high ground. Comparable number 3 kind of looks like mine, but because of the way the banks are, very little of that floods. And that also, comparable number 3, does have access, and I think that they might have gotten it from the elevator to be able to drive over the railroad tracks from the north. So mine is quite unique. 60% of it floods. The remaining 40% of the property, it doesn't flood every year. I want to clarify that, but it floods regularly enough that I'm not able to fence it off. the remaining 40% that doesn't flood is more than 50% covered by trees, which aesthetically are wonderful. I mean, that's why I bought it, was so, I can go walk in the woods, and also try to keep it cleaned up. When I was growing up, it was it was pretty nice, and then there were some pretty dark years where there was a lot of junk that was getting put down there. But unfortunately, over half of the trees that are on that property are ash, and so they're going to be. There's a pretty good chance, I should say, that there's going to be a lot of them that are going to be dying. And in the past, I have tried every year to clear up the fallen trees and branches to keep the fuel load low on the property, because there was a fire at the old trestle. There's a new trestle there now, but there was a fire at an old trestle, and there's been quite a few people that hang out down there. I don't know if they fish or if they're what they're doing for sure, but I would hate to have a fire start and burn up all the woods and spread to the elevator and so forth. So I try to be a good steward of the property, but it's more out of love or out of emotional attachment to the property than it is for economic.
Anybody have any questions for the appellant or staff?
I do have a question for staff. Why did we assess his neighboring property at a lower square footage than we did the current assessed property? If it's the same land type, land structure, all of that, what was the reason? I get the square footage is smaller, but maybe what was the reason for that?
On which one?
On number one there. So he owns that property as well. That's assessed at square footage at 8 cents, and his current assessment is at 12 cents for the property he is claiming on right now. So just curious
While
as
Ethan
to why
is
we would do
looking it
that.
up, I believe what we did is if it was in the.
It appears that it was appealed last year.
It was appealed last year.
Mr. Holman, since you own that property, which was our comparable number one, would you be able to enlighten us? Did you appeal that last year?
It wasn't last year. It was the year before,
Right.
and I'm in ownership of that with Larry Nelson, Drew Anderson, and Brad Peterson. And Larry did appeal it. I don't know if he's appealing this year or not.
Okay.
But I think 2 years ago they were at a pretty similar valuation rate per square foot. The key difference between the two properties, and this just speaks volumes of. I have spent quite a bit of money fencing the property that I own by myself, the subject property that we're talking about, and we have not put a fence across the other property, which is the comparable number one. And you should drive down there. There's lawnmowers, there's tires, there's all kinds of crap down. It's turned into a dump. And I have been able to avoid that on my property because I keep a locked gate. It's not much of a lock. I mean, the fire department, if there was a fire down there, I have two gates, a small walk-through gate, and then I have a larger gate that a fire truck could get through if they needed to battle a fire. But I have other than beer cans and diapers and condoms on the east side by the trestle, I haven't had a lot of garbage accumulate on the property that I have. When I do see the garbage, I pick it up and put it in my trash at home. But I'm sorry, I don't know what the rate was 2 years ago or even last year on comparable number one.
Thank you. Okay, what do you guys want to do? Got a motion from somebody?
I guess to me, I've been down there before. I know what that looks like down there. I would say both comparable number one and the property current state are the exact same, other than like Eric said with the fence that he's put around the one we're currently looking at. I would say, I would make a motion to at least move it to 8 cents a square foot. So I don't have that calculation, but what is his property now?
$17,222.
That's what that would be if I made that motion.
That it?
What's the square footage of the property?
Is that your motion?
That's my motion, yes.
Okay, is there a second?
17,000 what?
222.
I'll second it.
Got a motion and a second. Any further discussion? If not, Sherry, will you call the roll?
Commissioner Poppins,
Yes.
Commissioner Gibbon,
Yes.
Commissioner Atkin,
Yes.
Commissioner Sean,
Yes.
Commissioner Landine.
Yes. Motion carries. Got a little bit of a break, Eric. Thanks for showing up tonight, and thank you for taking care of the property.
You bet. Well, thank you for hearing me.
All right, we'll go to our 650 hearing.
Our next parcel that we'll be hearing appeal on is parcel number 200.63.02.020, owned by Theodore and Don Dykstra. It's located at 32 Park Lane here in Canton. It's a single-family home built in 1961, 912 square feet, 3-bedroom, 1-bathroom. We don't indicate any lower level finish. We sent an assessment out at $71,805. Initial recommendation is no change. The assessment is below cost and market valuations. We do show some 3 comps that have sold within the last 18 to 24 months. We felt the most comparable was comparable number 1. It was also a 1961 home. It's slightly larger. Sold in April of 2021 for $140,000. Currently, our subject property is being assessed at $59 a square foot. Using the comparables, our assessments on them range between $112 and $136 a square foot. The market is indicating a market valuation between $117 and $161 a square foot. You can see on the map in the northwest corner of the map, the subject property is located in pink. Comparable 3 is just directly across the street. Comps 1 and 2 are pretty close in proximity to the subject property as well. Just to give you some highlights on the information in regarding the condition of the property. The property was first visited in July of 2019 during the reappraisal of Canton, and only the exterior was viewed by the appraiser. On February of 2020, the property was again visited by an appraiser upon request to do an interior walkthrough based on potential appeal. After doing the inspection, the appraiser noted that the interior needed some work and moved the condition of the home accordingly. With all of that information being presented to the board, it's still the consideration by the assessors that we leave the value as the 22 assessment notice went out at $71,805.
No, you're fine. I was just looking. I forgot I would need to let you know to come on up here. Take your time.
And what I have to say is that there's been nothing done to the house whatsoever. I'm obviously not the best of shape. I'm on Social Security, and there's damage to the interior. I mean, you got the exterior of all your houses, and I wrote a deal there that I disagreed with it. And the outside of the houses you got showed here for 140,000 or whatever, and mine's booked at 71,000. Well, what's the insides of them houses look like? Because I've got some pictures on the phone. I'm not a very good picture taker, showing the damage in the house. There's holes in all the doors. I adopted a son back when he was really young, and he had all kinds of problems, quote unquote. And we went through quite a load with him. And anytime he got upset, he was either beat on us or beat on the building. So he beat on the building. But like I say, there's holes in the doors, there's cracks running down the center of the ceiling, and the floors. Some of the tile is broke, and it's should I say it needs a lot of work? Yes, it needs a lot of work on the inside. Yes, it does. Your $140,000 house, I don't know what that looks like inside, but I know, like she said, they were down there in 20 whatever, and they did a walkthrough, and if anything, it got worse than it did back when then. Because I didn't do, well, I'm on Social Security, and just like everybody else, nickels and dimes are hard to come by. And if you don't have the money, you just do the best of what you can. So other than that, like I say, if you want some pictures of some of the damage to the doors, I ended up taking black duct tape, I guess you could say, to patch the holes in the doors, the trim work on the frames of the doors and the windowsills or whatever. Buy a little here and buy a little there, and try to keep it up. And that, I think the increase, I mean, would I myself, would I give, what do you figure it was, $70-some thousand for it? Would I? I'm gonna say no, because you're gonna put a fair amount of money in the guts, inside of it, or in the guts, I'm sorry. The outside don't look so bad, but
Thank you, sir.
Yep.
Anybody have any questions?
I have a question for staff. We have or haven't been in the home?
We were in the home in February of 2020,
Okay.
so it's been a couple of years.
Couple of years, but in your determination, has it changed much in 2 years? It's worse yet?
as far as damage,
Yes.
I'm gonna say yes. Not a lot, but you're more than welcome to come and look at it. I've got a couple dogs, but they don't eat fresh. Sorry, guys. Sorry, Lee. Well, they haven't. I'm sorry.
You're fine.
Yeah.
You're fine.
I'm sorry. But you're more than welcome. I mean, like I said, I'm not the healthiest guy in the world. That's not your guys' problems, but that's how life goes. And if you're sitting on a budget, well, Social Security, if you know anybody's on Social Security, and,
Have you applied for a freeze?
pardon me?
Have you applied for a freeze?
Assessment
The
fees.
information that I sent you out, Mr. Dykstra, the application for the freeze, did you apply for that?
No, because I think maybe I misunderstood. I was supposed to come to the board meeting
Oh,
first.
okay.
Did I misunderstand it?
Yeah, you did.
There's some paperwork that you can fill out. It sounds like maybe you'd qualify.
I'm sorry.
So,
Yeah, so fill out that information that you got and then make sure that it's here by April 1st of next year.
Well,
You haven't-
there's a statute that if he would have qualified but missed the
Oh,
deadline, the
yep.
board may grant the freeze, but it has to be presented by the treasurer.
Yep, so,
okay.
No.
yeah, get the application filled out that I sent you.
Can
and then
I get another one? Because
Yep, I'll go grab it
would I
right now.
please, I'm sorry I misunderstood you.
Oh, no, it's, I just assume everybody knows what I'm saying.
Oh, no, everybody but me. No, I'm sorry.
Yep. Madam Chair, I have a motion to return the valuations to the 21 valuation.
Thank you.
Okay.
And what are they?
It's the 2021 was a total of 247. I don't know what the breakout was in 21, but yeah, I would like it.
The land was 17,550 and the improvements were 49,697.
Very good. That's my
Thank you.
motion.
Got a motion? Did I have a second?
I'll second it.
Thank you. Got a motion and a second by Commissioner Gibbon. Sherry, will you call the roll?
Commissioner Poppin,
Yes.
Commissioner Gibbon,
Yes.
Commissioner Akin,
Yes.
Commissioner Sean,
Yes.
Commissioner Landine.
Yes. Fill out the paperwork.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
I'm done then?
You need the paperwork. Don't
Yep,
leave
yep.
without the
I'm gonna wait
paperwork.
for her, but I wanted to make sure it's clear with you
Yeah,
guys.
you're done with us, yes.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, thank you.
Probably.
Unless you want to get strung up. I mean, is that recorded?
Here's an appraisal on our next appeal.
Okay. Official?
Official appraisal.
And they did enter it into the record.
You submitted it over the weekend?
A bit ago.
Okay.
Yeah. My husband did it, so it could have,
Yeah,
he could have said I did it.
think it was
It's not his
after
job.
we submitted our information to the board, but that's okay. That's okay.
I just need to make sure you wanted it part of the public record.
Oh, it's fine.
It
Well,
is.
do I?
I'm asking.
If there was not a microphone on or.
Well, if you submit it, it becomes public data.
Oh, that's fine.
I just need to make sure you understand that.
Yeah, if it's trouble, I can yell at him about it, cause he sent it.
Okay, thank you.
Good answer.
Won't yell a lot, he cooks.
All right. We're gonna move on to our 7 o'clock hearing. You must be Miranda? Yeah, come on up. Go ahead, Carla.
Our next appeal is parcel number 200.70.01.017, owned by Benjamin and Miranda Owen. It is located at 1301 Holiday Drive here in Canton. It's a 1997 home, single-family property. It consists of 3,360 square feet, approximately 1,084 square feet of lower-level finish in the basement. The lot size is 34,398, so about 3/4 of an acre. We currently have an assessed value of $486,243. It is a rather large home within Canton. It was hard to find some comparables that were actually comparable. I will go into a little more detail with that regard after I go through my presentation. The sales indicated an evaluation, and these were much smaller homes, between $312,000 and $335,500. We felt the most comparable was comparable number 1, sold in August of 2020 for $335,000, which equivalents to about $223 a square foot. Our house, our subject property is currently being assessed at $131 a square foot. The cost comparables indicated a value range between $143 and $196 a square foot. The market is indicating a market valuation between $157 and $192 a square foot. Again, these comparables are probably not the most comparable. But you'll see in that appraisal that was submitted by the appellant, even the fee appraiser had to go all over Lincoln County to, especially within the rural areas and Lennox, to find comparables that were comparable. We didn't reach out quite that far. We wanted to keep it more local to our Canton market. So with that information being presented to the board, the assessors are recommending no change to the assessment of $486,243. It's below market, we feel, and below the cost valuation. And just keep in mind that appraisal date was February of 2021, so it's about a year old. And I think everyone is well aware what the market has done, especially the last quarter of 2021.
You're done?
I'm done.
All right. Your turn, Miranda.
We just, after having it appraised just over a year ago, we just thought that a $60,000 jump was significant. We do understand the value is going up, but if you looked around the community now, there are many houses for sale that are size-wise similar in square footage. The mansions for sale on all of those. So if you started comparing now, you'd be able to find comparables. I don't know, I think the Feed Johnson's house is also for sale, and it's very similar, square footage wise.
Do you know what that's listed at?
980,000.
So well below. Well, I mean, you're well below that.
Yeah. But, I mean, if you were looking for comparables in listings, size-wise. But a $60,000 jump is significant in value.
Absolutely. It's significant,
Yeah.
but it's what reality is in the housing market now. We have homes that are going over asking price, and the asking prices are higher than one would ever think. So even if I just make a 15%, because we've had a lot of 15% adjustments and higher just because of the market. So even if I use your appraisal, the 425, I mean, that puts us at 488 just in 1 year. And within 1 year, most of homes have jumped by 15% or more. The market is just, I'm not agreeing with it, but that's what it is. But looks like a beautiful home.
I like it.
I don't think you're probably gonna go sell it.
Well, not yet.
No. I mean, you're not alone. It's gone. Everyone's been affected by it.
Will it come
And
back
people are
down?
shocked because we've had families that have been, couples in their home for 50 years and we're seeing 50% jumps and more on some of those.
So I guess my question is, will the value come down then? Or will the taxes come down if the value comes down when the market comes back down after inflation cleans
We're gonna
out?
separate two things. Taxes, a separate issue. Assessments, yes, if valuations start to drop, we're required to bring those valuations back
Okay,
down.
so it could come back down
Yeah.
eventually.
Taxes,
Oh, yeah,
it's generated differently.
That's a
So-
moving target.
so,
yeah,
but
no, okay, I
I
definitely
want
understand
everyone
that.
to assure, we're responsible to make sure that if the assessments, if we have a market correction that drops 40%, our sales data will give us that information very quickly, and we'll be able to make that adjustment across the board quite quickly. So.
Okay.
Any other questions for staff or the appellant? If not, is there a motion?
Madam Chair, I move to stay with the Department of Equalization's assessment of this property.
All right, I have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? If not, Sherry, go ahead and call the roll.
Commissioner Poppins?
Yes.
Commissioner Gibbon?
Yes.
Commissioner Akin?
Yes.
Commissioner Sean?
Yes.
Commissioner Landine?
Yes.
Oh. I have,
Okay, do you want, we just need to keep one in the file,
oh, okay.
and we have one there. Or do you have one? Do you have a copy? We'll
No, I
keep
gave
that
you
one.
both.
All right, thank
Okay.
you.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming in
Yeah,
tonight.
thank you.
Have a good night.
You as well.
Thank you. All right, we are gonna move on to our 710 appeal. Is anyone from DPEP LLC present?
Yes, this is Cameron Gage.
And what did you say your last name was, Cameron?
Gage, G-A-G-E.
All right, thank you very much. The Director of Equalization is going to give her presentation, and then you'll have an opportunity to present your appeal.
Okay.
Go ahead, Carla.
Okay, our next appeal is parcel number 200.73.00.001. It's owned by DPEP LLC. The legal description is Lot 1, Beaver Creek Addition, Canton, to the city of Canton. It's approximately 91,600 square feet, just slightly over 2 acres. We have a current assessed value of 11,001. Note to board members that the property was purchased back in 2015 for $15,000. We do have one sale that we're including with our presentation. The other two comparables are more of an assessment equity, showing the valuation is being assessed accordingly. You can see on our map that the subject property and the three comparables are all within the same location. They're all currently assessed at the 12 cents per square feet based on their size. The sale price that took place, not only on the subject property, but the most current sale indicated a price per square foot of $1.62. So we're well below the market range for these types of property. Therefore, the assessors are recommending no change to the 2022 assessment.
All right, Mr. Gage, go ahead with your appeal.
Okay. I simply just wanted to listen in. I had called in earlier and had said that didn't even need to have the appointment, but I was encouraged to at least listen to the proceedings. And so not going to make a big deal out of a $11,000 assessment. So,
Well, I appreciate becoming part of the process, though.
Yeah.
You did not submit a retraction, so we'll take action on it. Do you have anything else to say? Otherwise, I can present a motion.
well, it's just a situation where I'm seeing everybody around, and not in this particular case, but many fixed income people that because of the hyperinflation and the ridiculous market value right now, are facing situations where they could be forced out of the home they've worked for their whole life to retire in. And really, I think the system needs to be overhauled and needs to go to a setup like some of the other states where you purchase the property and that's what your taxes set on and that's where it stays. And it's adjusted at times of sale.
Do you need any of our
Otherwise, if the market continues,
legislator numbers? I can get them to you.
Yeah, but it's out of hand.
Thank you for your time, sir. With that, I'd give a motion to stick with our equalization office's recommendation at 12 cents a square foot, giving us a value of,
$11,001.
thank you.
Thank you.
We got a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Motion and a second. Any discussion?
Who seconded it?
I did.
Sean?
No,
Josh.
Oh, sorry.
Got a motion and a second. No further discussion. Sherry, call the roll.
Commissioner Poppins?
yes.
Commissioner Gibbon?
Yes.
Commissioner Akin?
Yes.
Commissioner Sean?
Yes.
Commissioner Landine?
Yes.
I do have a question for staff.
Go ahead.
Is the parcel 2007300001 in close proximity of this parcel?
The first comp, is that what you're asking?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, it's adjoining when that sale is definitely done incorrectly. That's not a good representation. of
Okay,
the-
there's something wrong.
There's a house there that's not being included. It wasn't, we talked about that land residual technique.
Yeah,
Yeah, there's.
you'll fix it before next year?
It's only, it's fixed. It's just a representation of this report.
Okay.
The home
Alright.
value should have been removed from that sale price per square foot. for the
Okay.
lot,
Consider a
essentially.
motion
To adjourn?
to recess.
Oh, recess. We have more of consolidated board?
No, not consolidated, but you do have one more that's gonna be on the regular agenda, or the regular Board of Equalization.
Don't we just retire consolidated? No. Or we have to
No, you
recess?
can't till May 3rd.
Oh, thank you. I would motion to recess then.
Thank you. I've got a motion to recess. May I have a second?
I'll second it.
Thank you. Sherry, will you call the roll?
Commissioner Poppins?
Yes.
Commissioner Gibbon?
Yes.
Commissioner Akin?
Yes.
Commissioner Sean?
Yes.
Commissioner Landine?
Yes. Motion carries. We're in recess.
Thanks for coming.
Thanks, everybody. Being as a county board of equalization, please.
See, this is
I
where
can
we
make
start-
this,
This is where we start seeing who's got more stubbornness with them.
well, I can make
Madam
this,
Chair, I will give you a motion to reconvene as
I
board.
can make this as painful as possible, Poppins.
You
Did
have
I
a
get a
motion.
second?
I'll second it.
Thank you. Sherry?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. So we have one item on our county board agenda this evening scheduled for 7:20. It's an appeal by Ryan Abel. Is Mr. Abel appearing or on the phone? No? Okay. Go ahead, Carla.
It's well 7:20. Do we have a number for him at all? I don't want to postpone this one more time. Keep calling. Give him a couple minutes.
I do know that Ryan is traveling from Florida. He was believing to be out of the plane by now.
But maybe he's not.
The case.
We could
Our
move it.
next
We could
appeal?
move it again.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Sherry,
Yep.
do you have the PT 17 form in front of you?
They have it in front of them.
Can you confirm the phone number?
I don't have that one. Oh, maybe I do. Because of my request yesterday, I do. All right. I do have a phone number.
Okay, would you confirm it? Okay.
Yep, 319-621-9260.
Yep.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yep,
And you guys are good to go if you wanted to leave.
we told them that.
listening to the entertainment.
Well,
At least somebody else cares.
Our chairman definitely is tired of the entertainment. Well, let's go forward with it.
Okay.
What do you think, Madam Chair? Is that all right?
I think that's fine unless we move it again.
I would, let's hear it.
Well, I did give him the option of the 26th meeting, and he is out of town
So.
and
let's hear
would
it.
not be able to be via phone either on the
Okay.
26th.
Well, let's go then.
Okay. Our next appeal is parcel 100.50.58.B100. It's owned by Ryan and Jennifer Abel. It's a single-family home located at 26946 464th Avenue. Home built in 2004. It consists of approximately 1,600 square feet. It is sitting on 10 acres, 4 bedrooms, 4 bathrooms, with approximately 1,440 square feet in the lower level. This appeal was heard at the local level. The local board did lower it to $466,394. I did appeal it back based on assessment equity, and we felt the comparables that we were showing in regarding to the land were sufficient comparables for them to maintain our assessed value. Our 3 comparables are we felt were comparable to the subject property. Felt the most comparable to the subject property was comparable number 1. That home was purchased in August of 2021 for $650,000. Our assessment on our subject property is $191 per square foot. The cost comparisons or assessments are showing on the 3 comparables are in the range between $167 and $214 a square foot. Our market is indication valuation range between $192 and $275 per square foot. We are using a tiered system for our land valuation. This has been one of the biggest complaints from the appellant. He felt that he was far enough away from any city of Sioux Falls specifically to feel that that did have effect on his property valuation. You can see in the northwest corner of the map, the subject property is listed in pink. Comps 2 and 3 are relatively close to the subject property. And the appellant was highlighting that comp 2 was too close to Sioux Falls to use as a comparable, but I also used comp 1 to help defend our value, and that's a much farther distance from Sioux Falls. A little bit of information in regards to the condition. Upon the assessor's exterior inspection in April of 2015, home is in normal condition. A front deck and rear slab were discovered and added to the assessment in 2016. Previous homeowner did not call back for an interior inspection, and that was prior to Mr. Abel's taking purchase of it. However, the 2019 listing showed, so the previous homeowner did not call back for an interior inspection. However, the 2019 listing shows standard finish with upgraded kitchen and cabinets, open floor great room, and a fully finished and heated 9-car attached garage. That is not assessed as so, and would have increased the current assessment. I did talk to Ryan extensively in regards to some of this condition issue. He said the heater doesn't work in the kitchen or in the garage. He stated that he felt the condition of the home was not in the upgraded level that we had indicated. I believe 3, if not 4 times, I had asked for an interior inspection, and all of which he refused to have an assessor come back just this year for any condition changes. His biggest complaint again is he's near a salvage yard. He gets a lot of trash in his yard. It's a constant maintenance to pick up the trash. I felt that, some of this information that he relayed to me, I felt like I needed to relay it to you so you can at least understand his concern on his assessment. With all of that being said, I felt our assessed value was still in a very good range with the comparable properties that we have presented today. Therefore, the assessor's office is recommending no change.
So his location is close to Sioux Falls landfill, I'm taking it then, if he gets a lot of trash in his yard? Okay.
Yes, that is correct.
And he has a 9-car garage?
What's that?
A 9-car garage?
A 9-car garage, that
Yeah,
is, yes.
The picture doesn't really give you that indication, but the square footage of the garage is accurate, and if we could show you the sketch if you wanted to, but it's just a deep garage, and
Yeah,
it's
if
fully
you look
finished.
if you look at it on parcel browser, you can see it and the aerial. It's
Yeah.
big.
Ethan, Madam Chair?
Go ahead.
The only thing I'm gonna have a question on is the land. I looked at, Madam Chair pulled up the comp 1. In appearance, it looks like it's a usable farmed piece on comp 1. But when I'm looking on the subject parcel, it does not look like it's usable land. Based on.
Farmable?
No, the comp that we submitted.
You're saying
looks-
it's farmable?
Yes, it is farmed on
Okay.
comp 1, so it's usable land. When I'm looking at the subject parcel, back part of that lot, I can't see that at best it's gonna be as pasture type use at best.
Uh-huh.
So, and we have them at the same value.
Yeah, typically, on a residential property, you're not concerned with whether it's farmed or not.
It
The word
goes to whether
usable-
it's usable for something
Well,
else.
the word usable, I think, I don't think that we share
Level
the
of
same
use.
definition of usable, because
Sure.
if you do look at their property on the parcel browser, you can see they've got mowed paths all the way through this 10 acres where kids ride ATVs.
Okay.
So
It's
Can you
actually a
pull that
mowing,
up?
because I asked him about that, and it's like he mows it that way so his children can go on hikes and adventures.
and ride their ATVs.
No, they're too young for that.
Okay, can you pull that up for me then and put it on the record?
Yeah.
Thank you.
The mouse or-
Oh. 58, B100.
What did you adjust on the one to the north?
To the north did have a land adjustment, last evening,
What
The
was
board
it?
adjusted
The
it
board
to.
adjusted.
Yeah, do you remember?
to 200,000.
Yep. It was 256, 750, and it was lowered to 200.
Okay.
And I will say, if I can add this to the record, there's got to be more land sales in this township than any township, and anything under 10 acres is selling for $50,000 an acre all day, up to 5 acres.
Keeps dying.
Questions? Motion?
And you've requested to be in the home and it's declined to take an evaluation of it.
Yeah, in regards to the valuation of the house, I did ask, I know at least 3 times if we could enter the property for an assessor to go through and check to see if there's any condition adjustments that could be made.
Madam Chair, would you entertain one last request to see if we can reach him
Sure.
by phone? Can we try it one more time?
You can see from his requested value, it really wasn't a structure. He was requesting 300, we had 306. It was mostly in regards to the land valuation.
Right. Does anybody want to make any adjustments to the land?
I'm comfortable, Madam Chair. With that, I'd move to stay with our Department of Equalization's recommendations.
Okay, is there a second?
I'll second that.
Thank you. Carter, are we able to get him? No? Okay. We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? If not, Sherry, you call the roll?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Motion carries.
Motion to recess?
Yes, motion.
Motion to recess, Madam Chair.
I'll second.
Thank you. Sherry, you call the roll?
By the way, she always wins the battles.
Yes.
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 Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.